Gave the wide receivers a C-. It was good to see Kadarius Toney get some balls thrown to him. He's the guy that we need to get back that's going to electrify this group. Okay? He's the spark plug that we need. He is the dynamite that once we light his fuse, he's just going to blow up defenses. That's what's going to happen. Okay? I was looking at the routes last night. Sky Moore ran and Justin Watson and MBS. I didn't see anything spectacular. I don't think they really gave him anything as far as, to really like get open one-on-one. Like I said, it was like little curl routes and the things they was doing. I think the one Pat was tell Sky to come back on. I don't know if he was trying to do a wheel route, push him up, and then come back down toward the sticks. It seemed like he came up and just kind of ran it out. So I don't know if that play was supposed to be like that. I don't know if he was talking about him, kind of run and push up and then come back down. I'm not sure. But I think it's still that Pat is sitting there like, okay, if they're running man zone, if they run a man on us, okay, and they feel that we can cover y'all wide receivers, I don't care who you put out here, we can cover these guys, then these guys got to win. They have to win. But we got to give them something to win. We got to give them some routes so that they can win, really. And what I don't see is I don't see a lot of like the setting guys up, in the secondary, like putting your foot in the ground, okay, playing them with your eyes, in your head, giving them something, to come to get out of the break. I don't see a whole lot of that. I see a lot of round under the routes, kind of trying to get in the window. I don't see something like routes that you look at to win one-on-one, okay, like being pronounced, because if you're going one-on-one, you got to pronounce how you're running your route. You have to. You got to get in and out the break. You got to push a guy up. You got to sell it with your head. You got to sell it with everything, your entire body. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that whatsoever. So I don't know if that's just the scheme or the routes in itself. I don't know what it is. But to me, we're not giving them anything that they can win. And even if you do give them something to win, then they got to make sure they win on their routes, man. I don't think that's what's going on. We talked about Rashee Rice dropping the one. Yeah. Does it need to just drop one? You know what? How about we throw the one on the side, let him drop the one on the sideline before he comes in, okay, before the game, and let that be the one he drops, okay? How about that one? And then let him come in and start balling out.
Yeah. It was one of his biggest snap shares, snap counts so far in the first 4 weeks of the season. So talking about the receivers and talking about what you're seeing from the route running aspect, but the one thing that a lot of our followers, a lot of our viewers have been talking about Justyn Ross, not seeing enough of him. This was his lowest snap count so far the 4 weeks, and you would think it should be going upwards, not a downward trajectory. And I'm saying maybe going forward, they should maybe look into exploring to see what we have in the young guys, especially a guy like Justyn Ross. Looking at Sky Moore, this is the second time Sky Moore went catchless in a game already this season. 4 games in, 2 games without a catch. And obviously 4 games, fourth time MVS has had 2 or less catches in a game. Those 2 numbers right there, it's like, okay, something's obviously not clicking, and I don't know, it's the route running, I don't know if it's the lack of creativity with the routes, Mahomes holding the ball to him, I don't know what it is. But we have a guy who excelled in the preseason, excelled in training camp. Everyone was raving about him. Mahomes was raving about him. Andy Reid's raving about him. OC's raving about him. Everybody's raving about him. And I'm not saying Justyn Ross is going to come in and give us wide receiver 1 numbers, but giving us some kind of production, because we're talking about a guy who's getting 2 or less catches that's making $16 million a year, MVS. And you're talking about a guy, Sky Moore, second year, where everyone was expecting him to have a second sophomore year leap, 2 games without catches. That's rough.
It is rough. It is rough. And our expectations are high, as they should be, right? I think MVS is a talented receiver. So I think we need to give him more of a mixed bag of like routes to run, as opposed to like the go route, maybe running the dig. We got to be able to showcase their talents, okay? And I don't know if we're necessarily doing that enough. Sky Moore looks like a guy who can do a lot of like the return routes, the arrow routes, putting their foot in the ground, running around the shallow crosses. He can do things like that. He can live in that realm of doing double moves. He can absolutely do that. And so we just had to do a much better job of play design to get these guys open. Just have to, and just using their strengths against the defense. So whatever that may be, whatever it looks like, we need to figure that out. We have to. We need to figure that out because they can help us. They really can. So I don't know if the play calling is not doing them a service, but I don't know, man. Like I said, the two guys cannot disappear in a game. Those two guys cannot disappear in a game. Seriously. Bottom line, if you plan on being a playoff team, those two guys definitely need to be a part of what you do offensively. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that. So, I don't know, man.
Hopefully, we see an uptick and if this continues. It's like, okay, well, let's see what we have from the other guys, And I know we're huge Ross fans, but like we're huge fans of getting some kind of production. And if you're getting, even if it's a little bit of production from Justyn Ross, that's still a little bit more than what we're getting from these other guys. And at that point, I don't care what the price tag is. If the guy's doing his thing, he's gonna get playing time over the MVS if that's what happens. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. That's how it works, man. Look, I told you it's not a popularity contest, right? We could scream all day, but if it's something that he's just not doing or something they don't feel comfortable with, they're just not gonna put you in the game. Bottom line. So we can say, oh well, like I said, all the screaming and hollering before, camp and during preseason, yeah. The NFL is all about consistency. Okay, you will get playing time when you are consistent. When they have trust in you, you will get playing time. When you're performing in practice, they will put you in there. So he's playing a lot of the special teams. Can he help us with some of those plays? That's what I'm talking about. Maybe in the end zone or in the red zone, you do throw the ball up, right? Put him in there for that play, okay? We have set plays when we run the little jet sweeps or the little wide receiver screens. Let's throw some balls up to Justyn Ross, okay, in the back of the end zone. How about that? Let him big body some guys. Yeah. Be athletic. So I'm just saying, I try it. Why not?
Yeah. Lastly, before we move on to the next subject, the next position group, the route that MVS they call the hold on Sauce Gardner last night. That route,
yeah.
What was that route going to be, JD? I mean, because I watched that play multiple times. I'm like, what were we even running here?
It looks like he's almost going to run a go route. So I think he kind of steamed him outside, came on the inside and was going to bend back outside. So he's looking for the ball to be toward the outside shoulder or above Sauce Gardner. I think that's what it was. So it was kind of setting him up, kind of inside, and then on a go route, deep fade. I think that's what it was going to be.
Yeah,
that's the only way I can see how Pat was throwing the football. Other than that, that's what I'm talking about. That right, exactly what I'm talking about right there. So, are you running to get open? What the play? How you setting yourself up? What is that? What is that? And so I'm just assuming that's what the play was. It could have been a slant and go. Could have been a sluggo. It could have. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, an ugly sluggo if that was.
Yeah, man. But hey, like I said, one-on-one, if you're limited on what you're doing and what you and your understanding on how you should get open, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. It's tough. So, yeah, we got to get that. We got to stress that, put that together, man. We have to.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.